Minnesota Vikings' decision to not franchise Sam Darnold is indicative of the complexity surrounding his future in the NFL. While it's clear the team has a level of interest in retaining Darnold, it seems that $40 million is simply too high a price to pay, especially considering the long-term plan they have in mind. If the Vikings would attack Darnold, it would have likely been with the intention of flipping him in a trade, but the absence of a viable market for him at this time means that the move didn't make sense. The Vikings are poised to enter a new phase of their roster development, with rookie J.J. McCarthy waiting in the wings and looking to start sooner rather than later. Darnold may return, but it will likely be on a more favorable, short-term deal that better aligns with the team's plans. However, it's possible that other teams will offer him more lucrative opportunities, leaving Minnesota to focus on other avenues to address their future at quarterback. Looking to the future, Sam Darnold's options outside of Minnesota seem more promising, and the competition for his services is heating up. The Raiders and Tennessee Titans stand out as potential landing spots, where Darnold could serve as a starting option. Additionally, the New York Giants are also in the conversation, though there is some uncertainty about whether Darnold would want to return to a market he once left. That said, in a quarterback market where teams are scrambling to find stability under center, Darnold's name is certainly among those being discussed. Still, one team that would not be looking into him is the New York Jets, as the awkward history between the team and the quarterback makes such a reunion highly unlikely. Meanwhile, the Cincinnati Bengals have found themselves in a similar, yet slightly more difficult, situation with Higgins. The Bengals opted to franchise tag the wide receiver, a move that was met with some resistance from Higgins, who likely feels he deserves a bigger, long-term deal. If Higgins had hit free agency, reports suggest his asking price would have begun at around $30 million per year, a steep cost for the Bengals, especially considering the looming financial obligation they face in retaining star receiver Ja'Marr Chase. However, the team does have some leverage. Higgins has recently switched agents, aligning himself with the same representation as Chase, which could help streamline negotiations between the two players. While a deal before free agency isn't guaranteed, the Bengals will be working hard to reach an agreement that satisfies both parties. If no deal is struck, the Bengals may look to trade Higgins before the July 15th deadline or beyond, as they explore all avenues to balance their financial future. As for the bigger picture, one player whose destination remains clouded is Myles Garrett. The Cleveland Browns have maintained that they have no interest in trading Garrett, but the situation is far from settled. The Browns' cap situation creates challenges, and they may eventually be forced into a difficult decision. Another scenario to keep an eye on is that of Kirk Cousins. The Atlanta Falcons, while expressing no immediate intention to release him, remain an intriguing subplot in this offseason's quarterback drama. With concerns over Cousins' ability to stay healthy and perform at a high level, it remains to be seen whether the Falcons will commit to a quarterback of his age and injury history. At the same time, the Giants' interest in Aaron Rodgers is gaining traction. While Rodgers is certainly a risky option at 41 years old, and after a tumultuous year with the Jets, the Giants are considering all available options. They were previously in the running for Matthew Stafford, and now that he's off the table, they are turning their attention to Rodgers. Despite his age, Rodgers has shown glimpses of his former greatness, and for a team like the Giants, whose Super Bowl window is slowly opening, adding a quarterback with his pedigree could make sense. However, given the uncertainty surrounding Rodgers' performance last season and his history with the Jets, it's not a move that comes without significant risk. But as the Giants aim to position themselves as playoff contenders, they may not have many other choices, especially as they seek a long-term answer at quarterback. Turning to the 2023 draft class, there's growing excitement around the top quarterbacks, particularly Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. Ward, who had a standout performance at the Combine, is now widely regarded as the top quarterback prospect, with many insiders believing that he has solidified his place as a potential number 1 or number 2 overall pick. Sanders, though still in the mix, appears to be the second-best option, but there are questions about whether he's worthy of such a high selection. A potential sleeper in the class is Jackson Dart, who has garnered increasing attention, though there are questions surrounding his development. Teams will be watching these quarterbacks closely, weighing the risks of taking one high in the draft versus seeking more immediate solutions in free agency or through trade. As the offseason unfolds, there will be more answers than questions. But for now, the NFL is alive with speculation, with teams jockeying for position in the quarterback market. The decisions made in the coming weeks will have far-reaching consequences for franchises that are either on the rise or in need of a quick rebuild. The Combine and the ensuing free agency period are just the beginning of what promises to be a thrilling offseason full of surprises and strategic moves.